Do you know what real power feels like? It's the quiet certainty that every word you speak in imagination is a decree upon the universe. It's the moment you realize that no one, not even your SP, has the freedom to escape the magnetic field of your love once you've claimed it as yours. Because love, real love, is not a request, it is law. And when you understand this law, when you awaken to your own divinity, you stop chasing, stop begging, stop doubting. You begin to command, not with arrogance, but with awareness, that I am is the creative force behind all things, and that includes the heart of your SP. When you say, they love me, you are not hoping they will. You are declaring a truth that already exists in the unseen. And the unseen, your imagination, is the only realm that matters. Every moment you feel this love as accomplished, the entire universe bends to match that vibration. Your SP is not out there choosing whether to love you or not. They are simply reflecting the command you've issued from within. You are the cause. They are the effect. You've forgotten that creation is finished. There are infinite versions of your SP. The one that's distant, the one that's cold, the one that's already in your arms. They all exist now. And your awareness, your feeling, determines which version you bring to life. You do not need to change them. You only need to select the state of being loved and adored, and remain faithful to that assumption. The law has no choice but to obey. Feel it now, not as a wish, but as a truth already written. Close your eyes and enter the scene. Feel their presence, hear their voice, sense the warmth of their touch. This is not imagination, this is creation. For imagination is reality, and the outer world is but its shadow. When you persist in that feeling, the shadow cannot resist. It must rearrange itself to reflect the light of your conviction. Every time you say, I am loved, the universe echoes, so it is. Every time you affirm, they can't stop thinking about me, the unseen currents of consciousness begin to move. Your SP starts to feel the pull, not because you forced it, but because you became it. They are drawn to your energy, magnetized by your certainty. You have become the vibration of desire fulfilled, and that energy cannot be ignored. So stop asking when. Stop wondering how. You are not waiting. You are commanding. You are not hoping. You are knowing. Your SP has no free will against your love, because your love is divine will. It is the movement of God through you. And the moment you remember who you are, the operant power, the dreamer, the source, the world cannot help but obey. Your SP must come. They must love you, because you have spoken the word, and the word was made flesh. Close your eyes for a moment and let the world fall silent. There is a sacred space within you, a place untouched by fear, by doubt, by time itself. In that stillness you remember, everything you desire is already yours. Not because you earned it, not because someone granted permission, but because the power that breathes life into your body is the same power that moves galaxies into orbit. It is the power that shapes destiny. And this power has no rival. It answers to no one. It is you. When you truly understand this, your entire perception of love changes. You stop believing that your SP, that special person whose presence you crave, has the freedom to choose whether to love you or not. You realize that love is not something to be won. It is something to be recognized. You are not standing outside of love, knocking on its door, hoping to be invited in. You are the house itself. You are the source of the feeling that calls love into being. The moment you declare it, the moment you feel it real, the unseen world begins its movement toward visible expression. Most people live in reverse. They believe what they see, they trust what they hear, and they wait for proof before they allow themselves to feel. But creation does not work that way. The law of life demands that you first feel, then see. The outer world is the mirror, the inner world is the cause. So if you stand before the mirror and demand it to smile before you do, you will wait forever. But if you smile first, sincerely, intentionally, the reflection has no choice but to smile back. That is the principle of all creation. That is how love manifests. When you say, my SP loves me, you are not pretending. You are claiming truth at its highest level. You are not making something happen. You are aligning with what already exists in the unseen. The unseen is not far away. It is the invisible layer of consciousness that gives birth to every visible thing. The chair you sit on, the air you breathe, the heartbeat in your chest, all once existed as invisible imagination before they were clothed in form. Love works the same way. You have been conditioned to believe that love is an external exchange, that someone must choose you, that you must convince them to feel something. But what if that belief itself is the only barrier between you and the reality you desire? What if love in its purest form is not dependent on the will of another person at all, but on your awareness of being loved? Once that awareness becomes fixed in consciousness, it must outpicture itself through the person, the circumstance, the event that aligns with it. There is no resistance in divine love. There is no chase, no struggle, no waiting. Love is effortless when it flows from understanding. The moment you say, "I am love," the entire field of consciousness rearranges itself to confirm that statement. People begin to show up differently. Circumstances shift. You may call it coincidence, but it is law in motion. The outer world always yields to the inner assumption. The reason so many remain trapped in cycles of longing and disappointment is that they keep reaffirming lack. They say, "I want them, I need them, I wish they would love me." Each of those statements carries the vibration of separation. And as long as you affirm separation, that is what you will see. You are powerful beyond measure, but the power works according to your dominant feeling, not your passing words. The universe listens not to your voice, but to your vibration. And the vibration of certainty speaks far louder than the language of desire. So begin to speak from the end. Speak from completion, not from waiting. Feel what it feels like to be loved so deeply that every cell of your being glows with it. Imagine your SP's presence not as a hope, but as a memory. Something already accomplished, already real. That feeling, sustained and believed, becomes the command that reality must obey. The laws of consciousness are exact. There is no partial fulfillment. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, creation begins, and nothing can stand against it. This is not fantasy. This is the most practical truth you will ever learn. Every great teacher, every enlightened soul, has said in their own way the same eternal thing: as you believe, so shall it be done unto you. Belief is not idle thought. It is sustained awareness. It is persistence in the unseen, even when appearances scream otherwise. The wise do not argue with appearances. They turn inward, they remember the truth of being, and they live from it until the outer must yield. Right now, you are holding the key. That key is imagination directed by feeling. You can unlock any door in existence with it. The world has taught you to give that key away. To circumstance, to timing, to another person's decision. But once you take it back, once you realize that your SP has no free will against the love that flows through you, you reclaim dominion over your reality. You no longer plead for what you desire, you embody it. You no longer wait for signs, you become the sign. You walk through life with the quiet confidence that what you feel must be. Because it is not them choosing to love you. It is you choosing to be loved. And the universe, being faithful, mirrors your choice in perfect form. When you look at your world and see people behaving in certain ways, your SP ignoring you, not calling, being distant, you are not witnessing independent beings making choices apart from you. You are witnessing the mirror of your own inner state. Every person in your reality plays a part that corresponds to the assumptions you hold about yourself and about them. They cannot act outside the script you have written in consciousness. The law of reflection is absolute. The world must show you what you are, not what you wish to be. Most do not realize this and live as prisoners of circumstance, believing that others possess the power to give or withhold love, attention, or affection. They wait for apologies, for validation, for confirmation that they are chosen. Yet nothing appears until you first feel chosen within. The moment you take your attention off appearances and turn inward, you begin to see that your SP has never had power over your story. They only appear to have free will when you have forgotten that the entire scene, every word they speak, every message they send or ignore, arises from your own consciousness. Imagine the stage of your life as a grand play. You are both playwright and actor. You write the lines, set the scene, and then walk into it as the main character. The others do not improvise. They perform exactly as directed by your inner beliefs. If you believe that love is distant, your SP must appear distant. If you believe they are cold, they must act cold. Not because they choose to, but because the law of consciousness demands consistency between your assumption and your experience. You are not punishing them or manipulating them. You are witnessing the natural order of creation in motion. The moment you decide to change the assumption, the scene must change. When you assume, I am deeply loved and desired, the vibration of that feeling begins to command every element of your reality. Your SP, though unaware on the surface, begins to feel that pull. Their thoughts start to align with yours, not because you force them, but because consciousness is one. There is no separation in truth, only variations of belief, and belief is contagious to the degree that it is felt with certainty. You have been told that others have their own will, their own mind, their own decisions. In the physical sense, that seems true, but all of physicality is only a projection of consciousness, and consciousness is indivisible. What you see as their will is merely the echo of your own inner assumptions played out through them. Change your inner tone, and the echo must change. It cannot resist. This is why it is said that nothing to be manifested is created, it is only selected. You are choosing which version of your SP to align with. The version that loves you, cherishes you, pursues you, or the version that seems detached. Both exist, but your focus determines which one you experience. Education begins when you stop reacting to the shadow world and start studying the invisible laws that govern it. The wise student of life understands that consciousness precedes form. Every movement in the outer is caused by a movement in the inner. So when you see your SP acting out an unwanted part, do not chase them in the external world. Withdraw into imagination and rewrite the script. See them as loving, attentive, devoted. Feel their affection as if it were happening now. That inner act is the creative act. It is the only act that matters. This principle is not limited to romance. It is the foundation of all manifestation. Every employer, every friend, every stranger is a reflection of your self-concept. If you carry the assumption that you are unworthy, the world must treat you accordingly. If you carry the assumption that you are adored, it must conspire to prove you right. Therefore, the task is not to change your SP's mind, but to elevate your own awareness. As you lift yourself to the state of being loved, respected, and wanted, every person, including your SP, rises with you. Do not confuse this with manipulation. You are not bending another's will. You are recognizing that their so-called will has always been an extension of your own creative consciousness. The law operates impersonally, like gravity. It does not decide who deserves what. It only reflects what is impressed upon it through feeling. The emotion you sustain is the seed, and the harvest is inevitable. So if you wish to see love expressed through your SP, you must plant love within yourself until it grows beyond doubt. The beauty of this understanding is that it restores your authority. You stop waiting for signs. You stop analyzing their behavior. You begin to move through life knowing that your inner world is the command center of all experience. Every thought becomes sacred, every feeling intentional. When you feel adored, you radiate that energy, and your SP, being part of your universe, cannot help but respond to it. It is not their decision, it is the law responding to your state. This is the education most were never given. That consciousness, not circumstance, governs life. You are not at the mercy of chance or another's whims. You are the author of every chapter. Once you realize this, you no longer fear rejection, because rejection cannot exist where acceptance of self is absolute. You no longer chase, because that which is truly felt as yours must return. You walk with quiet confidence, knowing that love is not a pursuit. It is a projection. What you claim within, you must experience without. And when that understanding becomes living knowledge, you see clearly that your SP has never possessed free will apart from the story you are telling within yourself. The world you see is only the echo of what you have accepted as true within yourself. Every scene, every conversation, every reaction from your SP is born first in imagination and only then clothed in form. You do not see things as they are. You see them as you are. The untrained mind believes in coincidence, in luck, in circumstance. But those who understand the higher law know that nothing appears without invitation. Your every feeling is an invitation to the universe to produce a matching event. The feeling of being loved invites love to appear. The feeling of being ignored invites silence. This is why it is said that the inner world is the workshop of creation, because from it all things take shape. When you look at your SP and say, "They are cold, they are distant, they do not care," you are not describing them. You are commanding reality. You are impressing the subconscious with an image of rejection, and that image must harden into fact. But when you turn away from appearances and declare, "They adore me, they cannot stay away, they are mine now," the unseen power within you begins to weave a new pattern. That pattern must unfold in the physical world, because form always obeys consciousness. It cannot resist the vibration from which it came. Most people think they must fight against what they see. They believe if they chase hard enough, beg long enough, or fix themselves enough, things will finally go their way. But that is ignorance of law. The outer world is not the cause, it is the mirror. The moment you fix the reflection instead of the self, you trap yourself in endless struggle. The wise one knows that the mirror changes only when you do. If you wish your SP to reflect love, you must first be love. You must think, speak, and feel from the state of already being cherished. When this state becomes natural, the outer image cannot help but align. Every version of your SP exists right now. The one that loves you deeply, the one that ignores you, the one that admires you from afar. These are not fantasies but possibilities within the field of consciousness. You do not create them from nothing. You select them by where you dwell in imagination. If you continually live in the state of, "They don't care," then that version of them solidifies in your experience. But if you choose the state of, "They are completely devoted," and remain faithful to it despite appearances, the law of correspondence will bring that version forward. The key is persistence, not effort. The creative act is sustained inner feeling, not outer action. Your SP cannot resist your chosen reality, because there is no separate will outside the one consciousness expressing through all. The self that seems to live in them is the same life that lives in you, responding automatically to your dominant vibration. When you change your concept of them, they feel it. They are drawn, compelled, inspired to behave in ways that fulfill your new assumption. This is not coercion, it is harmony. You are tuning the instrument of life to a higher frequency, and every note around you must respond to that vibration. Do not confuse imagination with pretense. Pretense is empty effort. Imagination is creation. When you close your eyes and see your SP smiling at you, holding you, choosing you, you are not pretending. You are entering the true world where causes live. You are impressing that feeling upon the subconscious mind, and the subconscious, being faithful, will find the shortest, simplest, most natural path to express it in form. You do not need to dictate the method. You need only persist in the knowing that what you have seen within is already accomplished. The difference between the one who manifests love and the one who waits endlessly is simply understanding. The one who understands knows that feelings are prayers in motion. Every moment spent feeling adored is a moment spent constructing that reality. Every moment spent doubting, yearning, or fearing is a moment spent constructing delay. You are never idle. Even silence creates. Every thought, every image, every emotional tone plants a seed that must bloom in its season. Therefore, train your mind to dwell on the end, not the absence. Speak to yourself as one already loved. Walk through the day as if you are the most desired being alive. Do not wait for confirmation. Give it to yourself through feeling. When the thought arises, "But they are not here," gently return to the inner scene where they are. Do this not with strain but with quiet conviction. The power is not in repetition, it is in belief. When the feeling of certainty settles into your being, creation is finished. This understanding transforms love from pursuit to expression. You cease trying to get love and begin radiating it. You become the source rather than the seeker. And because the universe mirrors your inner state, love begins to chase you. Your SP, who once seemed unreachable, becomes drawn by a force they cannot name. They think of you at random moments, dream of you, feel pulled toward you, because they are responding to the new signal you have broadcast. Nothing is more educational than this truth. that the outer world bends to the disciplined imagination. You are never at the mercy of another's choice. You are the silent architect, shaping life from within. When you assume love and hold it as fact, you take your rightful place as the author of your experience. And in that authority, the illusion of separation disappears. You and your SP are one consciousness expressing two perspectives of the same truth. The truth that love, when felt as real, must be made visible. You must understand that imagination is not daydreaming. It is not an escape from reality. It is the foundation of it. Every structure, every invention, every relationship that exists began as a thought silently felt as real before it appeared in form. The same creative law that gives birth to galaxies operates in the field of your consciousness right now. When you imagine a scene and feel it with conviction, you are setting into motion a law that cannot fail. Your SP, your circumstances, even time itself must yield to the state you inhabit within. There is no limit to what this power can accomplish, yet most people use it unconsciously. They imagine worry, loss, and rejection, and then wonder why life delivers those exact experiences. What you hold in mind with feeling becomes your command to the universe. The subconscious does not question your logic, it accepts your emotional conviction as truth. If you constantly affirm, "They don't care about me," your mind accepts that as instruction and faithfully recreates it. But if you replace that inner dialogue with, "They adore me, they are drawn to me, they cannot resist me," your subconscious accepts this new order and begins to express it through the behavior of your SP. Feeling is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. You cannot create by empty words alone. Words are tools to awaken emotion, and emotion is the language of creation. When you feel something as real, even for a moment, the invisible machinery of existence begins to move. That movement is unseen but certain. It arranges people, events, and timing with perfect precision to fulfill your inner conviction. This is why faith is described as the evidence of things not seen. Because what you feel as true now will inevitably reveal itself later. There is no magic in this, only law. The same law that governs gravity governs consciousness. You cannot fall upward, and you cannot think lack and experience abundance. Everything is drawn to its equal vibration. The world is your mirror, and your SP is one of its most faithful reflections. If you are consumed with fear, doubt, and longing, the reflection must match. If you radiate certainty, gratitude, and love, the reflection must match. The law plays no favorites. It simply echoes what you believe. The key is consistency. One powerful moment of conviction can begin the process, but persistence completes it. When you return again and again to the feeling of being loved, despite appearances, you are feeding the seeds you planted. Each time you imagine your SP lovingly looking at you, speaking to you, embracing you, you water that seed. The outer world may not show immediate change, but the root is growing in the unseen. To dig it up for proof is to destroy it. To rest in faith is to ensure its bloom. You must learn to discipline your inner conversations. Most people are slaves to mental chatter that contradicts their desires. They affirm love in the morning and fear loss by the afternoon. This divided mind produces nothing but confusion. The creative power listens to your dominant vibration, not your passing words. So decide once and for all what you wish to experience, and then live as though it is already accomplished. When doubt arises, do not argue with it. Gently return to your inner scene, that sacred moment where your SP is with you, smiling, loving, devoted. Feel that warmth. Let it saturate your being. Education in this art means learning to ignore appearances. The outer world is always behind the inner. By the time something appears in your physical life, it has long been settled in consciousness. If you react to what you see, you are living in the past. If you hold to what you feel within, you are creating the future. So when your SP seems absent, it is only the echo of an old assumption. Do not feed it by giving it attention. Feed your new reality instead. Live from the end, from the assurance that love is already yours. The mind untrained in this law seeks evidence. It says, "But nothing has changed. They haven't called. They don't care." Yet faith knows that what is unseen is more real than what is visible. The phone call, the message, the affection are all effects. The cause is the feeling of having them now. The outer must follow the inner as surely as night follows day. Therefore, when you hold love within you, even in the silence, you are setting the stage for its visible return. There is an elegance in this process, a divine order that never fails. You may not know the route, but you can trust the result. The unseen intelligence that animates your heartbeat also governs the unfolding of your desire. Your only work is to sustain the inner knowing that it is already done. When you sleep, let that feeling cradle you. When you wake, let it walk with you. When you speak, let it shape your words. Every thought that aligns with that state strengthens its hold. This practice is both science and devotion. Science because it obeys exact laws, devotion because it requires faith in the unseen. To master it is to reclaim authorship over your world. You cease being the victim of circumstance and become the creator of it. The moment you declare love as your reality and feel it deeply, the universe reorganizes itself to mirror your certainty. Your SP begins to sense something new, something irresistible, because your energy no longer speaks of need but of fulfillment. And fulfillment is magnetic. It calls everything that matches its tone into manifestation. So do not chase, do not plead, do not wonder. Create, imagine, feel. The unseen will move mountains for the one who feels truth within before it appears without. Your SP is not the source of love. They are the channel through which your own love reflects itself back to you. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you will see that what you imagine with conviction is not a wish. It is a decree. Every time you affirm love as already yours, you set in motion forces beyond the reach of logic. You are not whispering empty words into the air. You are impressing the very substance of creation with your conviction. The unseen realm is obedient to feeling, and feeling is the true prayer. You do not beg or plead, you declare. The difference between those who wait endlessly and those who see miracles lies only in this. One speaks from lack, the other speaks from completion. When you say, "My SP loves me deeply," with full conviction, the statement becomes law. The subconscious hears it as an instruction and bends every thread of reality to make it true. The moment you understand that your world is an echo of your inner speech, you begin to live deliberately. You no longer allow stray thoughts to wander unchecked. You realize that every emotion you sustain has creative power. Fear creates the object of fear. Love creates the reflection of love. It cannot be otherwise. The law is neutral, precise, and absolute. It does not judge whether your thought is pleasant or painful. It simply manifests what you have accepted as real. Therefore, mastery of life begins with mastery of feeling. Your SP responds to this vibration, even if they do not consciously understand why. Their thoughts, impulses, and emotions begin to shift in ways that align with your dominant inner assumption. They feel drawn, comforted, magnetized toward you, because at the deepest level of existence, there is no separation between consciousnesses. You and they share the same universal mind, and whatever impression you impress upon it reverberates through their being as well. This is not manipulation, it is resonance. When two strings are tuned to the same note, pluck one and the other vibrates automatically. When you dwell in love, your SP cannot help but feel its pull. This understanding frees you from every limitation. You stop chasing outcomes and begin to embody them. You realize that it is not waiting that brings your desire, but being. The energy of, "I already have it," dissolves resistance, because there is nothing left to obtain. When you move through life as one who is already loved, everything conspires to uphold that truth. People treat you differently. Opportunities arise. You feel an ease that no external circumstance can disturb, because you no longer seek proof. You carry proof within. There is profound education in this, because it teaches you that reality is self-generated. You cannot receive love until you become the embodiment of love. You cannot be chosen until you choose yourself. The moment you feel unworthy, you cast yourself as the rejected one in the play of life, and the outer actors respond accordingly. But when you step into the role of the beloved, when you walk, speak, and think from that identity, the script rewrites itself. The same people who once ignored you now feel an inexplicable urge to reach out. The same circumstances that seemed impossible begin to rearrange themselves naturally. This shift requires no effort other than attention. You do not need to force the outer world to comply. You need only to remain faithful to the inner feeling. Each time doubt appears, you quietly remind yourself that appearances are the past solidified. The present moment is where creation occurs, and in this present moment you can choose a new reality. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and return to the feeling of being adored. Let that feeling sink so deeply into your being that it becomes second nature. When it does, you will notice the difference instantly. The air feels lighter, your heart steadier, your mind quiet. That peace is the signal that creation has been accepted. Many misunderstand this power because they approach it as a trick to get something or someone. But this is not about getting, it is about becoming. You are aligning with the state of love, and that alignment naturally expresses as loving experiences. The outer world is simply the canvas upon which your inner art is painted. You may think your SP suddenly decided to text or visit, but in truth you moved first. The change began in the silence of your consciousness, and the outer scene merely followed your lead. There is beauty in recognizing that nothing stands between you and the fulfillment of desire except your own disbelief. The instant you drop disbelief, the way opens effortlessly. You are never too late, never too far, never too forgotten. Love is eternal and immediate, responding only to your awareness of it. When you stand in the knowing that you are loved now, you collapse the illusion of time. You remove waiting from the equation. The subconscious moves instantly in response to conviction. The physical world may take time to catch up, but the creation itself is finished the moment you feel it real. So when you affirm, "My SP cannot stop thinking of me," feel what that means. See their face in your mind's eye. Hear the sound of their voice speaking your name with tenderness. Imagine the way their energy feels around you. Do not strain, simply know. Let that knowing rest in you like a seed in fertile soil. The seed does not struggle to grow, it simply knows how to become what it is. So it is with your desire. It unfolds in perfect order, guided by a wisdom far greater than intellect. You were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to radiate it. The power that sustains the universe flows through your very awareness. To claim it is not arrogance, it is alignment with truth. Every moment you stand in that truth, you reclaim another piece of your divinity. And as you do, your SP, who has never truly been separate from you, feels the irresistible gravity of that realization. They come not out of obligation, but because your love has become the natural atmosphere of their soul. They return home to the vibration you have called them from. There comes a point in your journey when you stop asking, "When will it happen?" and begin to say, "It has already happened." That shift in awareness marks the true turning point of creation. The old self, bound by appearances, seeks proof in the outer world, but the awakened self knows that proof begins within. You no longer measure reality by what the eyes see or the ears hear. You measure it by what the heart feels. The feeling of fulfillment is the only evidence you will ever need, because the unseen world always precedes the seen. Once you grasp this, you will understand that nothing and no one, not even your SP, can stand outside the authority of your consciousness. The great secret is that love is not a pursuit but a presence. You do not chase love, you embody it. When you walk through the day with the knowing that love surrounds you, that you are adored, desired, and chosen, you broadcast a signal so powerful that every part of reality must respond. It cannot resist you because there is nothing to resist. You and the world are one continuous field of awareness. Your SP is not a separate being with independent will, but an aspect of the same consciousness expressing a particular role in your story. When you revise that story, they must play their new part accordingly. To the untrained mind, this sounds impossible. How could someone else's behavior change simply because you assumed a new feeling within yourself? Yet if you observe life carefully, you will see that it has always been so. When you are happy, people seem kinder. When you are anxious, the world appears hostile. You do not experience life as it is, you experience it as you are. The people around you simply reflect the vibration you project. Therefore, your SP's actions are not evidence of their autonomy, they are evidence of your own assumptions mirrored back to you. Understanding this law transforms relationships completely. Instead of pleading for love, you begin to express it. Instead of waiting for validation, you become the source of it. And because energy cannot help, but return to its point of origin. The love you radiate flows back multiplied. Your SP feels it as inspiration, as an inner urge they cannot explain. They may believe the thought to reach out to you was their own, but in truth, it was the echo of your consciousness calling them forth. This is the moment you begin to take back your power. No longer will you say, "They hurt me," or "They left me." You will say, "I once held the belief of being unloved, and the world confirmed it. Now I hold the belief of being adored, and the world will confirm that." Such an attitude is not arrogance. It is responsibility. It is the recognition that life mirrors your inner state with perfect fidelity. Every disappointment was never punishment, only feedback inviting you to create more consciously. Once you understand this, you stop judging and start shaping. It takes discipline to live this way, for the senses will try to convince you otherwise. The outer world moves in delayed time, and there will be moments when appearances tempt you to doubt. But doubt is simply the signal that you are looking outward instead of inward. The wise creator remains unmoved. They know that the seed planted in consciousness must bloom, even if unseen beneath the soil. You may not see results today, but creation began the moment you felt it real. The unseen hand of the universe is already rearranging itself to deliver the evidence of your conviction. Your SP in that unseen realm has already shifted. Their heart has turned toward you. Their mind has begun to remember you with warmth. Their soul recognizes your energy as home. You do not need to visualize every step. The law will orchestrate it. Your task is to remain faithful to the end state, the scene of being loved, secure, chosen, fulfilled. Every time you think of them, do not think of longing, think from completion. Feel the satisfaction of a love already realized. That inner satisfaction is the magnet that draws your SP closer without effort. Creation operates in silence. The most profound changes happen not through action, but through stillness. When you withdraw your attention from the noise of the world and dwell in the reality of your desire fulfilled, you send forth a creative command that cannot return void. Your SP will begin to feel restless without understanding why. They will sense your presence in quiet moments, remember your laughter, dream of you. The invisible threads of consciousness are tightening around the image you have woven in imagination, pulling the outer into harmony with the inner. You may ask, what if it takes time? Time is irrelevant to the law. The moment you feel it real, the event exists now. Physical manifestation is simply the unfolding of that eternal now into sequence. Do not measure the progress by days or weeks. Measure it by your inner peace. When you no longer crave, when you no longer question, when you feel complete even without visible proof, that is the sign of mastery. The world is catching up to you. To live from this awareness is to live as creator, not creature. You no longer plead with fate, you command it. You no longer chase affection, you embody it. You no longer wait for love, you become love itself. And the world, being faithful, must reflect that identity. Your SP, once perceived as distant or uncertain, becomes the perfect mirror of your new assumption. Devoted, attentive, captivated. It was never their decision to love you. It was always your decision to be loved. Once you claim that truth, the question of how dissolves, for you realize it has already been done. Every heartbeat, every breath, every moment spent in the awareness of love fulfilled strengthens your command. The unseen responds instantly, shaping the visible world to match your conviction. You are not trying to attract your SP. You are awakening to the version of reality where they already belong to you. Stay in that knowing. Speak from it, live from it, rest in it. The outer will bow to the inner. The story has already been written, and it ends in your favor, as it always must when love becomes your assumption. And now you see the truth that was waiting for you all along. There was never anything to chase, nothing to win, and no one to convince. The love you were searching for has always lived within you, quietly waiting for recognition. Every moment of longing, every tear, every sleepless night was never punishment. It was an invitation to awaken, to remember that you are the power that commands your world. You are not a beggar before destiny, you are the author of it. Your SP does not possess the freedom to resist the vibration of your certainty, because certainty is the language of creation. The moment you claimed love as yours, the universe sealed it into form. The unseen began to move, circumstances began to shift, and hearts began to respond. You did not need to chase or plead. You simply had to remember that creation answers to conviction, not effort. Now walk through your life as one who knows, not as one who hopes. Speak only from completion, feel only from fulfillment. Every time doubt whispers, return to the stillness within and remind yourself it is already done. The world is not outside you, it is within you, reflecting your every assumption in perfect order. Love is not coming, it is here. Stand tall in that knowing. Let the energy of certainty wrap around you like light. Move, breathe, and speak from the identity of the beloved, because that is who you are. You are the chooser, the dreamer, the cause behind all effects. Nothing in this universe can oppose the will of love expressed through you. So take back your power. Stop waiting for a miracle and realize you are the miracle. Love obeys you because you are one with its source. And when you remember this truth, truly remember it, your world will bow to your word, your SP will respond to your call, and life itself will reflect the glory of your inner command. You are not waiting for love, you are love. And everything that belongs to love must return home to you.